Large-scale drift net fishing has already been banned in the United Nations, many countries around the world, most recently Russia, and has been phased out off the east coast of the United States and highly restricted in Oregon and Washington. Drift nets are vertical nets that can stretch miles in length. These can either be anchored to the bottom of the ocean floor with the purpose of marine life unknowingly swimming into their deaths and getting stuck, or they are dragged along the ocean floor, killing everything in their path. Drift nets have a large mesh enabling smaller fish to swim through, while larger fish and other marine animals become entangled.
Drift nets are huge walls of nets that they're miles long, and they're released in the ocean mostly at night, and they're meant to catch swordfish but end up catching hundreds of other marine species, many of which are protected.
Many fisheries that use this form of catching fish deploy the drift nets with the intention of only catching one or two specific species of fish. However, many other species, referred to as bycatch, which may include species of sharks, whales, or seals, are caught in the nets and killed, only to be discarded as waste by these fisheries. Bycatch is the capture of unwanted marine life while fishing for a different species. Bycatch is a negative impact of overfishing that affects the ecosystems of many marine animals. It is bad that fish are being caught and killed and then discarded because not only is it a waste of resources, but it is also ruining the balance of the amounts of fish in the ocean.
If we think about this example up on land, let's say that we wanted to try and catch a deer. And the way we do it is by going into the woods and taking every animal in the entire forest just to catch that one deer. People would be a bit upset about that. It's a waste. It's damaging habitats. It's damaging other species for no clear purpose. The problem is out in the ocean, you don't always see that. It's out of sight, out of mind, but it is the same concept.
It is estimated that 7.3 million tons of animals are killed as bycatch every year by fishing nets, the equivalent of almost 3,000 Olympic swimming pools of dead animals. Some fishermen are beginning to develop ways, such as sound signals, to avoid marine life such as dolphins, seals, and sharks from getting caught in the nets. Placing nets lower in the water would also allow typical bycatch to avoid getting caught and swim above the nets instead. By placing protection on the marine life habitats and ecosystems from destructive fisheries and putting fish nursing grounds and coral reef in safe zones, we would save many species of fish from extinction.
Bycatch is one of the most common forms of mortality in marine mammals around the world. What we see at our hospital is that around 300,000 small cetaceans, those are the whales, the dolphins, the porpoises, die each year due to unsustainable fishing practices.
Drift nets are a largely new development since the 1970s, when drift nets were extensively used in industrial fisheries for the capture of schooling pelagic species such as herring. Nets were generally set in areas of high fish density, where schools of the target species were known to be concentrated. Today, such areas are generally the domain of other gear types, while drift nets may be used in areas where the target species occurs at relatively lower densities. Along with drift gill nets, longlines and trawling are fishing methods with a great amount of bycatch. Longline fishing is a form of commercial fishing that allows for massive fish yields. Longlines can be used near the surface to catch open water fish such as tuna and swordfish. Trawling is a method of fishing that involves pulling and fishing a net through the water behind one or more boats.
So there are really great ways to catch fish out in the ocean. Things like pole and troll caught methods, purse seine nets. It depends on what type of animal you're trying to catch.
Here are 3 things you can do to help with the problem of drift nets and overfishing. 1. Make sustainable choices about your seafood eating habits. 2. Spread the word. Make others aware of this problem. And 3. Ensure that your government is implementing laws against the use of drift nets. Write a letter.